Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The objectification of knowledge and the application of knowledge in a wrong manner is human weakness. For example, when we go to Satsang, hear something or the other, then immediately we want to apply it on others. For example, just now I went to some place and I was sitting, Swamiji, how are you? Excellent. Then to change the topic, this is one of the most important requirements of living. You should be able to change the topic immediately. So, there was a picture, a beautiful picture. I said, hey, what a lovely picture. I really like this picture. Immediately, what is the cause? What is that which attracts your mind towards that? I said, I don't know. Just I like it. Nobody must be thinking. I said, no, I never think and talk. I only talk. I don't think. That means you are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi? Arey Ram. I said, मैं मारूंगा. See? Few words here and there we hear. Like Arjuna did in the first chapter. And started teaching Bhagavan Sri Krishna the whole Dharma Shastra. Why this happens? Because whatever knowledge we gather, we get, immediately we want to vomit it out. Undigested vomit is a very disgusting thing. So, another example. There is one couple, very sweet couple. Rare thing. So, the fight between the two of them is a Vedantic fight. Normally Vedanta is only fight, they do nothing else. So, when for example, wife tells something, now it is expected that the husband should sympathize. So, he starts firing Vedanta on her. And she has come with all the hope that she will get little consolation, appreciation. Yes, the world is bad, you are the best person in the world, etc. But instead of that, she gets Vedanta. She gets disgusted. I don't want to listen from you. Vedanta teaching. Then sometime he has some problems. So with his problem, when he comes, she started giving back with interest. And as a result, they are constantly on fighting on this issue. There is no point in talking to you. Please remember, Vedanta Shastra is for practicing in our life. With others, no science. With others, only love. And what is love? Love is tolerance. Love is acceptance. Love is seeing the beauty in the ugliness. That is love. This approach to life is more scientific than the logical approach. Because life is not a matter of fact. Life is not a matter of logic. Life is a matter of love. Isn't it? Have you heard this phrase? They are logically, married. No, they fall in love without logic. This is how the life is. Therefore, whatever we are studying in this 14th chapter, as to this absolute reality expressing through the conditioning, gets conditioned and starts living as if really conditioned. And as long as this identification with the conditioning is intact, whatever you may do, you are simply wasting time of your life. Very important. Now, what is the meaning of the real progress? The meaning of the real progress is, earlier it is to take months together for your letter to reach. Then the wireless came. Kata, 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 kata. We are progressing. And then slowly, fax came, phones came, and now the emotional blackmail. And you know the latest one? There is a smell mail. You can email your favorite smell to your friend and make him miserable. Imagine. So, immediately you click here and the message delivered. So, the faster the life, the more progressive we are, the more advanced we are. And with this logic, we want everything to happen contrary to the rhythm of life. And when we go contrary to the rhythm of life, life is not lived, death is lived. Because life is lived very fast. Thereafter what remains is only death, nothing else. And therefore, to come out of this problem, why we are not able to live every moment of our life fully, cheerfully, happily. See, there is one mantra in Ishavasya Upanishad. Kurvanneveha karmani jijivishet shatagam samaha. One should live 100 years. This is the normal translation, which you will see in most of the publications. And yes, it is right. But the hidden meaning behind this statement is Kurvanneveha karmani jijivishet shatagam sama means live dynamically and 100%. Don't live partially. See? When you are living 100%, then alone you are living. Otherwise, anything that you do in your life half-heartedly, you can never enjoy. See? Our, this video cinema fellows, if they are coming here only to shoot the video, and they are coming only for that purpose, so all the time their attention is on the watch, here and there, and when this is over, we'll have a cup of tea, chowpati. On the contrary, if a simple approach is taken, wherever we are there 100% available. See the joy of life. And this is possible only when we are not carried away by the modifications of the conditioning through which we are functioning. See? Take one or two examples to understand this point. When we are going by car in a place like Bombay, and there is a lot of rush, traffic jam, all kinds of things, and you are also there and the child is also there. So we are disgusted. I don't know when this Bombay traffic will improve. All the conditionings are influencing us too much. And if the child is with you, he is enjoying every moment. Mama, see that nice cartoon. What cartoon? Are you less than or? See? Please remember, whenever any conditioning is influencing you, you are a sufferer. And if the conditioning doesn't influence you at all, you will enjoy. So those who are not influenced by my talk, they alone are enjoying. And those who were very serious, my God, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, ha ha, Satyanas. Therefore, let us find out, is there a way that we cease to live in this world as body, as mind, as prana, and we start living a fresh life as consciousness through the body, through the prana, through the mind. And for that, it will not happen by a magic touch. It is so surprising that so-called educated, scientific-minded, even scientists, they come and ask this thing, that is there any way that, by some ashirvad or by some blessing or by some touch, many people have that, particularly North Indians. Swamiji, mathe par hath rakho. Keep the hand on their head. Say, my hand is not the USB port. When you connect one gadget to the other gadget through the USB port and click, all the data is transferred. In this manner, my wisdom will not be transferred to you. Possibility is your dirt will be transferred to me. See. And second thing, Bhagavan Krishna himself was the highest. He could have, and Arjuna has changed. Isn't it? Why he has to talk for 17 chapters? So that we can be kept busy. Therefore, please remember, if we really mean scientific approach to life, let us be very clear. Nothing happens in this life as an accident. And for that, what is the approach? The approach is that which you have to discard, you must know what you are discarding. Otherwise, like many times it happens, you want to discard some of your data or the files and all that, you discard. And you don't put it to the recycling bin. But you directly discard it. And wrong, my God, I have done this. Now you can't undo that. Then gone for gone. In the same manner, before we want to discard the limitations, we must know what are the limitations, what is the meaning of discarding the limitation, and then only it is done properly. When it is not known, what we misunderstand, that if I kill myself, I will be free from all the problems of life. One person went to kill himself on a hilltop, mountain top. And just before jumping, he just looked here and there, as if he is going for batting, here and there. And there one Babaji was there. Babajis are available when they are not required. He was there. So he went. Mahatma ji, Ashirwad karo. So Mahatma ji said, you have come for committing suicide? Yes. Don't run after her death. She will find you out. You don't have to go. And by killing yourself, you are not solving the problem. You are running away from the problem. Be very attentive. Scientific approach means you don't run away from the realities of life. That is scientific approach. Not taking the drugs, not taking the painkillers, and not taking some diversions. That is not scientific approach to life. And therefore, it is necessary that we are well equipped with proper information. Then with that information, we interact. And after interaction, we assimilate. after assimilation, we start experiencing. When we start experiencing, then the fragrance of life is all the time around us. That is called as the real scientific approach to life. And for that purpose, we have seen there are three modes: sattva, rajas, tamas, knowledge-oriented, action-oriented, and the object-oriented influence on us. And out of that, we have seen when we are too much knowledge-oriented, we get attached to comforts and knowledge. When we are action-oriented, we get too much attached to activity, undertakings, desires, and unending hunger and thirst for the worldly objects and their enjoyment. And then, if we are only matter-oriented, dravya pradhan, then pramada alasya nidradihi tannibadhnati bharata. Then our achievement of life is what? Having only structures. To construct a house, an institution, is nothing but taking money from people's pocket and building the stones and bricks. Stones and bricks never make an institution. You take, for example, in Shantiniketan, when Gurudev, Rabindranath Tagore was there, that was the Shantiniketan of its original fragrance. Now he has gone. Now it has become a beautiful cement jungle. All the modern amenities with the modern problems of theft. Isn't it? Do we call that as a real life? Real institution? Therefore, instead of building the stones and the bricks and the buildings, what is important today is we must build the hearts of the people. And the hearts of the people are built only when attention is taken away from the stones and bricks and brought to the heart. And this is the purpose. Therefore, when we are under the influence of this tamoguna, only these unwanted, the non-essentials occupy the major portion of our life. Therefore, pramada alasya nidra. What should be done is not done, and what should not be done is done. About this, I'll give one example. This happened in US. One father asked me, our NRI grandfather, he said, Swamiji, I have done everything for my son. Whatever he wanted, I gave him. Never ever he was denied anything. And yet, he is like this. I said, you know what you have given him is exactly what was not required, and you have not given him what was required. What is that? I said, how much time you have spent with your own child? Giving money is not a substitute of giving your life's time for your child. Therefore, friends, please remember, pramada alasya nidra, our priorities become erroneous. And when priorities are wrongly fixed, our life cannot be rightly lived. Thereafter, in the 9th verse, the teacher told us, Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajak karmani bharata. So when sattva guna, the knowledge orientation becomes more, we are more and more comfort, happiness oriented, and we don't like any discomforts or troubles. Rajaha karmani bharata. Such a person is extremely, the one who is under the influence of Rajoguna, karmani, he is too much attached to the activities. And third, jnanam avrutyatu tamaha, pramade sanjayatyuta. And those who are matter oriented, they cannot think anything else except only collecting the gross things and putting together. In one house I went, and after we had our cup of tea and all that, then they took me their whole house, showed here and then we came down. Till then I didn't know it is their house. Then I said, hey, this is a very good place, but you said you are going to take me to your home. Why did you bring me to the museum? Swamiji, this is our house, it's not a museum. I said, it is no way less than that. Everywhere there are different statues. This is from Hong Kong, and that is from Bangkok, and this is from Honolulu. Everywhere. Where is the home? See? Therefore, friends, please remember, let us not get too much influenced by the gross things in life. Let us not misunderstand that doing too much of activity is a scientific life. No. And similarly, let us not misunderstand also that knowing more and more, becoming an encyclopedia of scriptures, you touch and Bhagavad Gita comes out. No. Therefore, let us not get obsessed by anything. So, obsession is the common denominator for all the three. See, suppose I am obsessed with Bhagavad Gita and the children come. So, what I will talk to them? Beta, do you know Bhagavad Gita? No, Swamiji. Your parents didn't teach you? We are doubtful about our own parents. Who will teach us? I don't know what is going to happen to this country. Everybody should know Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because I know. Look here. Then I get so obsessed that the only thing in my life is everybody should know Bhagavad Gita. And this has been a failure even for Bhagavan Krishna. Do you think you and me will succeed? But that obsession binds us to everything in this world. Now, Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate jnanam yada tada vidyan vivruddham sattvam ityata. Now these are, from this verse onward, the symptoms of the predominance of the three gunas independently of others is given. First, how do we know when we are predominantly sattvic or knowledge oriented? So first, Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate. When all our faculties are brilliant and bright, only one's hearing and one's reading gives you complete and perfect comprehension. You must have seen this. Sometimes we go on reading, and nothing goes inside. I think there is something wrong. Not there, here. So whenever we are predominantly sattvic, this is the sign that we don't have to repeat anything second time. Only once. Now see the joy of life. Suppose you have to write a letter. And you take the paper and pen and start writing in it. I don't think I can. Then again paper. Then on one letter you will spend 1 hour. You can't do anything. Our efficiency, when it is utmost, then we will never be short of time. And those who complain that they are short of time is only because they are functioning under the influence of the tamoguna or the rajoguna. Either too much excited or too much dull-witted, but never alert. So, when the sattva guna is predominant in our personality, our expressions are, all our perceptions, understanding is brilliant and bright. And such students, according to our scriptures, are called as Uttama Adhikari. Uttama Adhikari, the best among the students. Only once they hear and everything is done. No more misunderstanding, no more half understanding, no more wrong understanding, no more upside down understanding. But there is, after listening, standing under the knowledge. So, sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate. Jnanam yada tada vidyat vivruddham sattvam ityata. Therefore, now find out in your own life, which are those times when you are bright and brilliant. You will come to know that when you had a very good, peaceful sleep, and you get out of the sleep without any burden of the future or without any hang-up of the past, then you are extremely bright and brilliant. That is the time. Use it for your study of scriptures. That is the time. Use it for your meditation. When it comes to working on ourselves, we find out that time which is extra. Which is not a special time. And as a result, we find it is very difficult. Why the scriptures are so difficult? In Calcutta or somewhere, one girl came. She was doing her MPhil on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan Krishna has to support everybody, wise as well as otherwise. So, she was doing MPhil. And she came and she said, Swamiji, I am doing MPhil in Bhagavad Gita. So kindly, I got some doubts about interpolations. There are many verses. I feel they are not original. Somebody has put them inside. I said, I have not put, don't blame me. No, not that. Then, for example, she gave example of 9th chapter, verse number 4 and 5. She said, Swamiji, for example, in the 9th chapter, then I said, verse number 4 and 4, yes, how do you know? I said, I am just like that, what can I do? And then, see, this is meaningless. What is meaningless? In the 9th chapter, Bhagavan says, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina. I, the formless, support all the forms. And masthani sarva bhutani. Everything is in me. And I am in them. But to be very frank with you, neither they are in me nor I am in them. This is how the cinema goes on. Is it not all the contradictions? And therefore, I feel these two verses are meaningless in this chapter. So I am going to put in my thesis that these are unwanted verses. See? And then I explained her everything. After explanation, my God, this is so important. I said, then what about your yum-pill? Now your yum-pill is gone. It is yum-tea. You are not going to get that. Therefore, please remember, study of the scriptures, understanding should be done when you are at your best. Not when you are good for nothing. When we can't hear, satsang. When we can't sit properly, then meditation. When we don't remember, मैंने खाना खाया क्या? You have eaten 16 times and asked 60 times. Enough. Now that time we want to go and study and understand scriptures. Therefore what this verse is, that do not have this wrong notion that our scriptures are meant for dying. They are meant for living. What we are studying is the scientific art of not euthanasia, not the scientific art of dying. If you take some concentrated solution and put it in your jugular vein, and after some time you will have a peaceful death. No, we want you to live peacefully, not in pieces. So, jnanam yada tada vidyar vivruddham sattvam ityata. So now one homework. Find out in your own life, what is that time when you are bright and brilliant? That time, instead of going for jogging, that time go within. Don't run outside. And slowly, slowly, you will catch that this is the time best for me. And then peep deep and deep in your own being. Then you will see all what our scriptures have said is not objective, but it is subjective. Then second thing, Lobha pravrittirarambha karmanam ashama spruha rajasyetani jayante vivruddhe bharatarshabha. A best among the Indians, Bharatarshabha, the best among the Indians, Arjun, when the Rajoguna, the dynamic aspect of our personality overpowers, then the following things happen. One, Lobha, greed. And the greed has no limit. Tulsidaji compares the greed with the cuff in our chest. You know, whatever you will do, cough, and bring it out. Again after 2 seconds, again accumulated. Non-exhausting. In the same manner, the greed has no end. Our Mahatma Gandhi used to say something very good, simple words. For the need of the whole world, there is more than enough in this country, in this world. But for the greed of anyone, even the whole world is not enough. And therefore, we go on greedy, increasing more and more and more and more. There is no end to that. See? Thereafter what happens? All the accumulation that we have spent our life for is only for protecting what we have collected. So while collecting the whole world, we had no time to enjoy. And now in the old age, only the worry how to protect it. Is this life? Therefore, greed is the first expression of this Rajoguna. And you will see greedy people are ready to bow down to any level. Greed. This is how out of greed alone, all the corruption is rampant in the whole world. If we have no greed, then alone there is justice. When there is greed in the judiciary, there is judgment, there is never a justice. The other day, I was with some judges in Delhi. I said, hey, I don't understand anything of your topic. I just want to know. The courts are supposed to give justice or judgment. Please tell me. So, no, we pass judgment. Judgment is never a justice. Justice is far superior than the judgment. And when the judgment can be corrupted, how it is corrupted? Because of this Rajoguna, Lobha, greed. How much more we want? For what? Lobha, then Pravrittihi. Pravritti is too much of getting involved in too many kinds of activities. Uncontrolled participation and involvement in this world is called as Pravritti. Then Arambha. Arambha is every now and then something new to start. You know, in Delhi, there is a friend of mine. Initially, I never knew, but slowly after some time I came to know. So every time I go, I ask him, now what is the new thing you have started? So every time he wants to start something new, and when he starts something new, the old fizzles out. And as a result, today he is pretty well educated, a software engineer, and he has done so many new projects at the expense of his father, and all of them total flop. Because whenever you start too many new things, your attention is diverted and you are not available for anything. So, Arambha, then Karmanam Ashamaha. And there is no quietening of the dynamic activities of life. And the last one, spruha. Spruha is unending thirst. We want it without any limitation. All these things are extremely rampant when Rajoguna is too much in our personality. Now be very attentive. Many people have this wrong notion. Why India is poor? One person was talking to me. Do you know, Swamiji, why India is poor? I said, because of me. What else? Had I not been here, India would have been very rich. No, not you, but people like you. I said, what we have done? You people tell. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Unless you have something to achieve desires, you will not work, you will not produce wealth. See the Western world. They are all the time wanting to get this, wanting to get that, and therefore they are progressive. I said, I don't know how many countries you have visited, or yours is only the internet data. Have you seen the so-called overdeveloped nations? They have got beautiful mattresses, huge beds, but no sleep. They have got plenty of food, but no hunger. They have got beautiful cars, but nobody to ride with. They have got excellent phones, but nobody to say hello. You call it as a progressive life? Think. And take the other way. If you see the life and the output from the lives of the great masters who have had zero personal desire level, and see the amount of work that they have done. So we are under a wrong impression that we can become progressive when we are working under the desire pressure. No! We can become progressive when we are working under inspiration and not under the desire pressure. See? In Australia there is a phrase. They call it as DCM memo. The first time I went there, I said, hey, what is the DCM memo? Both Australia and New Zealand, they have this phrase. So, is it the Delhi cloth mill has reached here also or what? He said, no, DCM memo means what? On Friday, when you are going after closing your office, at the gate of your organization, you get a memo and you have to deposit the key of your office or the table with the watchman. This is called DCM memo. What is a DCM memo? Don't come on Monday. And this is given on Friday evening. And there is nothing that you can do about it. It is just like that. Now imagine if you are every Friday coming home and every time you have fear in your mind that I may get a memo and I will be out of work. So Monday through Friday, I will be working. If the timing are 6 hours, I will work for 10 hours, 12 hours and no overtime, no nothing by because working under fear. Do you call it as a humane lifestyle? And then we say we are really having the progress. That is not progress. That is playing with the lives of the people. See? Therefore, this is a wrong notion. That if you have got more desire, we will work more, and if we work more, we will be more successful. No! The life becomes worth living only when we are functioning under the influence of inspiration, joy, commitment, sacrifice. Then there is joy in life. Otherwise, only selfishness, what I get. See? Therefore, friends, Rajoguna is the one which gives us an illusion that invocation of the Rajoguna and too much of activity is the secret of success in life. No. It is only the inspired lifestyle that can make the best of us. And further, the third one, aprakasho apravrittischa pramado moha evacha tamasyeta nijayante vivruddhe kurunandana. Hey Kurunandana, hey Arjun, the one who is the giver of joy to everyone, to that Arjuna, Bhagavan says, aprakashaha apravritti. Neither there is predominance of knowledge, understanding, wisdom, nor there is a desire to work and sweat and earn a lot. See? So, aprakashaha apravritti. Then what we have? Pramadaha moha evacha. Working all the time under the influence of delusion regarding our own correct identity. Delusion regarding our duties towards ourselves, towards the nears and dears, towards the society. And pramada is, although we know what we are supposed to do, yet we refuse to do, is called as pramada. Now see, now what logic can you give that we should respect and revere our old parents, whatever they are? Do you think it is a matter of logic? It's a matter of love, not logic. But when our life becomes logical, then what we say? See, after all, we don't have time for them. We can't look after them. Therefore, we admit them in the old people's home and we send money. And on the Mother's Day, we tell the florist, kindly deliver $1 flower to my fool, my mother. Do we call that as a life at all? Is it a robot sending a flower to a computer? Think. And then this is considered as the most advanced and scientific lifestyle. This is only because the matter has become important and the life has become secondary. See? Therefore, aprakashaha, we will not be able to understand this. Apravrittihi, laziness of the highest order, and pramado moha evacha tamaste chani jayante viruddhe kurunandara. So these are the three modes under which we are constantly operating. Now, the information that we have, now we have to interact. So find out. All the three are essential in our life. First step. Second step. It is necessary that the gross matter called as the body is used for a better purpose rather than lazing it out throughout life. No. So for that we invoke the Rajoguna. When we invoke the Rajoguna, then we want to do this, we want to do that, achieve this. This is very good, do that. But remember, all what we are doing, the shareholder is everybody in the society, not only me. So when the dynamism is without the selfish stink, then it becomes a glorified lifestyle. And the third thing, we must become all the time aware what are those times in our life when we are bright and brilliant. Don't waste that time in anything else except your study of scriptures, your meditation, your japa sadhana. That is the time. Do it with all sincerity. And this information is thus interacted upon and practiced in life. Then you will come to the following conclusion, that tamoguna, indolence or inertia, rajoguna, dynamism or activity, sattva-guna, brilliance and brightness, all of them are assets if properly utilized. All of them are a liability if wrongly applied. So let us learn it. Let us not give too much importance to only one-sided aspect of the personality. And in this manner, we slowly conquer the conditioning. Now please understand this way. This example I gave you. Controlling the car does not mean parking the car in the garage from the day of purchase till the day of disposal. I have complete control over my car. How? I just put it in the garage. I just don't take it. Complete control. No, it is not control, it is parking. Control is when you ride the car, move in the world and get the work done. Then it is control. In the same manner, we don't have to run away from the challenges of life. We have to go through all the good and bad events. And yet, don't lose our cool. And yet, don't lose our balance. And yet, never blame anybody. And discover the bliss that you are in spite of the turmoil of the three gunas around us. If this is done, then we are leading a scientific life. If you see the litigations, then the number of attorneys or the advocates and the number of the psychiatrists is maximum in the overdeveloped countries. Because everybody is continuously living under tension and pressure. That is not life. Therefore, friends, conquering this matter means going beyond the influence of them, although you are functioning through them. And when the sattva, rajas, tamas, the gross matter, the dynamic activities of our life and the knowledge that we gather, when they are no more able to corrupt us, no more it becomes a burden on our personality, then alone we are able to live lightly. Otherwise, we carry the load of life on our own shoulders. And then the question comes, Swamiji, why me? So my reply is, why not? The world is too much. The world is not too much. You are too small. You become powerful. The strength in the world is borrowed from our weakness. If you are strong, the world cannot override you. And the technique is this. Be aware. Are we getting lost in the small little things of life? Are we obsessed with some kind of activities, undertaking, because of that we are pareshan and make everybody pareshan? And the third thing, are we obsessed with our own understanding and convictions? No. Get out of that. If somebody is, for example, I'll tell you one example. In one place, I had an occasion to go, and they were all talking only about vegetarian. I am also vegetarian. But their obsession became so disgusting that they started talking ill about those people who are eating non-vegetarian. And what was the statement that they made? All those who eat the non-vegetarian, they are the mobile graveyards of the animals. Ram, Ram, Ram. You are seeing only the dead bodies. In them there is a conscious principle that you are not able to see. Because we are vegetarian, therefore everybody should be vegetarian. As long as they don't eat you, don't worry. See? Therefore, these obsessions really don't allow the divinity in us to manifest. So, let us become extremely aware. Are we becoming the victims of these three gunas? Or we are able to assess their performance in our life, control them and transcend them. then alone we are leading a scientific approach to the life. Now, yada sattve pravruddhe tu pralayam yati dehavrit tatottam vidan lokan amalan pratipadyate. Now from here, one step further the teacher is taking us. See, unless we accept earlier life, present life and the future life, there is no logic which can support why we should be good. Be very clear. If I consider with the death of my body, everything is over, then rudam krutva ghrutam pibe. Collect lot of money, beg, borrow or steal, enjoy your life. At the most, what will happen? I will die. Anyway, everybody has to die. But who cares thereafter? Because after that, everything is over. Therefore, you cannot say why one should be good, why one should be religious, why one should be truthful. And this is how people say, those who are bad, they are happy. See? Therefore, when we accept that earlier we existed, our today's expression is the effect of our earlier performance, and our next life will be determined how we are living in this life. Once this principle is accepted, then only there is a little possibility that we will like to change our present lifestyle. And what is the effect? When we leave our body under the influence of the predominant sattva. What is the influence of predominant sattva? You are peaceful. You are chanting the Lord's name. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Or Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Your mind is at peace. Nothing is disturbing. And in that peaceful atmosphere, not the drowsy and drugged atmosphere, not in coma, that cheerful but peaceful atmosphere, you discard the present body and get out of it. Then where will you go? Then, tata uttama vidan lokan amalan pratipadyate. You are born in the higher world of subtle existence. And this becomes a kind of a reason for us why we should be good and pure in our life. Now when you look at the world, you will see in this world, there are people who are as if meant only to suffer. It is not that they are bad, but all the sufferings are concentrated on their life. Do you think that God who created this world is a cynic, a psychic patient who is enjoying torturing and condemning some of his children? And some of them are good for nothing but all the comforts of life. So how this is happening? Then our scriptures tell, all what we get in our life is the kind of seeds that we have sown. When we don't understand this principle, other than frustration, nothing will come in your life. The other day, there was one lady, a European lady. She came and spoke to me. Swamiji, I have been leading a very pious and a very good life. I said, thank you very much. Then, I adopted a child. And I have spent my whole life earning everything on that child so that the child should grow into a good person. And this child is born out of a aboriginal drug addict and a prostitute. And it was thrown. So that child I have adopted and I am looked after with all sincerity. But now, by the time that girl is hardly 15, 16, not even completing the teenage, every time I had to go at night in search of her. She is lying somewhere on the roadside, somewhere thing, and then I had to put her in the car. All my efforts have gone bad. Please tell me where I have gone wrong. I said, Amma, what you are doing? You are having a hope that a chili plant should bear the mangoes. How nice it will be. This never happens. Please remember, every one of us in this world is a product of what we have done in our last life. Therefore, in this life, if we really want to lead a scientific life, prepare for your next life's beautiful journey. Instead of wanting to lengthen the present life, why don't you make your next life more beautiful? See how important it is. And for that, what is the spiritual practice? Only one. Refuse to be miserable and be cheerful. Slowly your mind's load will be unloaded. You will have no expectations. You will have no regrets. You will have no failures. You will not have arrogance of the success. And thus your mind will come to a tranquil condition. And in that tranquil state of the mind, you won't carry the load of impressions of personal prejudice, likes or dislikes. And with that pure mind, when you discard this thing, you are bound to end up into something higher, something beautiful. So this is the scientific approach. Therefore, many people, why should we be good? If we have this wrong notion, with the death of the body, the cinema is over. We have understood nothing. We have seen in the earlier first 3 days lecture, what is the meaning of death, etc. So as long as we are functioning through the conditioning of sattva, rajas, tamas, we have to obey the rules and regulations of the country where we are living. See? If you are driving in the USA and you say, no, I to India, no, I will drive from the left side, then go back. Then you have to drive according to the rules there. In the same manner, as long as you are living in the present embodiment, you have to follow the rules. There is no choice. See how important it is. And so funny thing, we know the importance of the purity of breeding, the importance of the decent pedigree for animals. But the importance for human being is not understood. And we consider most scientific advanced nations. See? Therefore, friends, this knowledge is not meant for frightening us. That if you do bad, you will go to hell. It is not for that purpose. This is a clear, open book. These are the facts. Yathechasi tatha kuru. Now you decide whether you want to make your life or mar your life. You are the master of your life. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita, after telling everything, Bhagavan Krishna doesn't compel Arjuna. Do what I told you. Aha! You have been blessed with the understanding. You decide. It is not a kind of a fear. If you don't do this, you will go to hell. Even in the hell there is God, because without the God, hell cannot exist. So how does it matter whether it is a holy God or a Swargi God? Who cares? As long as God is there, very good. Therefore, this kind of fear, etc., is not the scientific approach. So discover this. Therefore, being cool, being tranquil, being happy, being non-miserable is more scientific rather than being all the time working and living under tension, fear, no trust. So, the second thing. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tatha pralinas tamasi mudha yonishu jayate. And When Radasi Pralayam Gatva, when we leave the present body under an extremely dynamic activity, I have to do this, I have to do, and one day immediately हवा निकल गई पंच. Then karma sangishu jayate. Such people are again born in this human form and again continue the leftover sufferings thereafter. You will see all those people who get unnecessarily involved into so many things. I have heard many Mahatmas. One Mahatma, he was a great yogi. He is no more. And you know, yoga is more popular than wisdom. So, he was attracted, he was able to attract lot of the Westerners. Among the Westerners, yoga is very popular because there is no responsibility, there is no cultural problem. You can be anything and yet you can be yogi. So many of them, and they said, Maharaj will give you nice, lot of money, dollars and pounds, and you construct a nice ashram on the banks of Ganges, Rishikesh. And he said yes. And then the money started pouring. And then he started constructing an ashram. 7-8 years of his life's last 7-8 years, he spent only in counting how many donkeys cement has come, how many donkeys bricks have come, how many donkeys the sand has come, and every day and night, same thing. Finally, he said, I don't know, my whole life I have spent in all my yogaabhyas, spiritual life, and what this has gone into my head, that let me have some place for the betterment of the world. Please remember this. Don't deceive yourself. The purpose of our arrival in this world is only to discover who we are. All other things are useless. As long as we give importance of reality to this world, then only we will have to improve this world. See, all those great people who have come and tried to improve this world, whether it was Alexander the Great or the present greatest, all the Yadavas, what has happened? Nothing will change in this world because it is something different than what we are understanding. And yet, our whole life is spent only in that. And such people, they themselves disgusted, frustrated, and toward the end of the life, I wish I could have done this, I would have done this. Let us lead a peaceful, happy life. Now the third type of people. Tatha pralinas tamasi mudhayonishu jayate. And those who are dying in the tamoguna. Dying in tamoguna means what? Dying in coma. Or dying in under anesthesia. Or those who have died in sleep. Or those who have died suddenly without anything. Or under some accidents. Such people, they are born in their next life, Mudha Yonishu Jayate. Mudha Yoni means what? Lesser than the human beings. They are born in the animal kingdom. One day, I had told you this story long time back. I was in a restaurant, a very beautiful place somewhere in Europe. And we had ordered for that cappuccino, that coffee, and till it comes, I was sitting there. And I had 1 or 2 children with me. And next table, this white European girl came. Tuck. And she put her purse on the table, and from the purse she took out a living, actual biological dog. so small, like a doll. You can keep it there. Honey, you are going to sit here, okay? Don't go. And tuck, 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 she went for something. And naturally, is the point of attraction for everybody. So, these children asked me, Swamiji, how lucky that dog is, isn't it? Now tell me, what that dog must have done in the last life, that this kind of birth is there. See our Indian dog, hey, Mar. And here, look at, a very sweet, beautiful, rich lady taking out him with great love and affection and talking to and calling him honey. Look here. So, I said, it is something like this. This soul in that dog must have done quite a good work, good charity, and lot of donations, etc. must have been given. But at the time of death, must have been attached too much to his dog. There are many people who are extremely attached to dog. And they are proud. Swamiji, I can't sleep without my dog. I can sleep without God, but not without dog. There are people, you may be knowing, may not be knowing. And when the dogs come in, they do the whitewashing, chatak pak, and they are happy. See, Swamiji, how much love. And I have to say, yes, the tragedy is that. Okay. Now, this particular soul must have been extremely attached to the dog and done a very good life, did good service to the society, etc. But at the time of the death, the last thought must have been, if I die, what will happen to my dog? So the last thought was that of a dog. And therefore, Mudha Yonishu Jayate. The next life is that of a dog. So, all the merit that you have earned is giving you a comfortable life. But the last thought was that of a dog. Therefore, you are living comfortably as a dog. Therefore, please remember, our last thought determines our next step in life. If we understand this principle, we will be all the time alert, because we don't know when we are going to leave the body. And that is why our scriptures and masters tell, always remain cheerful, happy, chant the Lord's name. So when you happen to leave any time your body, your next life is properly already decided. And those who imagine, only once if you say it is enough. But will you be able to say that once at the right time? Therefore, this approach that under the influence of these three gunas, when we leave the body, that determines our next destination. And what is that? Karmanaha sukrutasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasam phalam. So, if we have seen in this world, there are people who are born in very rich, very good and comfortable families. Because in their last life, they have lived really very good, dignified life of a cultured human being. And rajasastu phalam dukkham. And those who have been extremely rajasic, dynamic, aggressive, they will be all the time miserable in life. And the ego is directly proportionate to the intensity of your miseries that you experience. The more miserable you are, the more egoistic you are. The less miserable you are, less egoistic you are. No misery, no ego. All happiness is bliss. And ajnanam tamasaha phalam. And when we are under the influence of the tamoguna, ajnanam, we know nothing. We don't know who we are. We don't know what the world is. We don't know what God is. We don't know how the things are happening in our life. We don't know when we interact with the world, what happens inside, that we don't know. We don't know the importance of pure breeding. We don't know the importance of marrying in a proper systematic manner. Nothing is known because under the too much of influence of this tamoguna. And sattva sanjayate jnanam rasaha lobha evacha pramada moho tamaso bhavati ajnanam evacha bhavataha ajnanam evacha. So, when we are under the influence of this sattva guna, jnanam sanjayate, then our life becomes more and more a cultured, knowledge-oriented, contemplative seekers. And rajasaha lobha evacha. And when we are under the influence of rajoguna, our greed is no more satiating. And pramada moho tamaso bhavataha ajnanam evacha. And pramada and moha, delusion and wrong understanding about everything is the insignia of this tamoguna. And therefore, this three-tier existence in this world. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha, madhye tishtanti rajasaha, jaganya guna vrittistaha, adho gachanti tamasaha. If you see the creation, it is three-tier creation. One is subtle existence where miseries and tragedies have no place. That is called as Swarga, the heaven. Then the second is the Madhye Tishtanti Rajasaha, is our mortal world where there is lot of competition, lot of struggle to survive. And Jaganya Guna Vrittistaha Adho Gachanti Tamasaha. And those who have lived their life all the time under the influence of the Tamoguna, they are leading and going towards the animalistic lifestyle where there is no dignity of existence. And after this, Bhagavan now gives a new turn to the total topic. He says, Nanyam gunebhyaha kartaram yada drashtanupashyati gunebhyascha param vetti madbhavam sodhigacchati. So from here, the teacher takes up another theme. That all the discussion regarding the influence of the three gunas in our life is meant for what purpose? To discover that all these three gunas are supported by me, but they are unable to influence me if I remain alert and aware about my own being. Therefore, all the spiritual life is not a life of concentration, but it is a life of awareness. Concentration is valid in the objective life. Awareness is meaningful in the subjective experience. How this awareness can be discovered and what are the signs of the discovery? This is the last topic. We'll conclude with this by tomorrow's talk. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Namaha. Hari Om.